Welcome, this is Joe from Custom Classics. Behind me is a 1947 Diamond T. Big project we've been working on. I want to take a few minutes today and kind of go over all the detail of work we've done to it. I did a lot of the work, so I'm a good person to kind of go over most of the detail on it. For you guys that aren't familiar with the Diamond T, it was pretty much it was like a heavy-duty truck they made in the 40s, 50s. I believe the 60s they got bought out or something. So you would have saw these a lot, you know, with like a stake bed on them or a big box for like hauling goods. It was kind of like it would have been like a Mack or a Peterbilt of its time. So anyway, the customer came to us with this truck, and he wanted to be able to like cruise it down the road, which the original drivetrain was not up for it. I mean, this thing in primo condition, I mean, the best it would do is 45, 50 miles an hour, and that just was not going to cut it. What we started with was completely getting rid of the old frame, and we hunted down a super clean 1997 Dodge Ram 2500. It had a 12-valve Cummins in it, and the frame was like immaculately clean. Like I've never seen anything so clean before. So we started with that, thought that'd be a good base to start with. When doing a frame swap, one of the most important things you want to do first is you want the wheel to be kind of like centered in the front fender, because if it's one way or the other, it's going to look wonky and people are going to know there's a different frame under it. So we started mocking everything up. We got the fenders where they needed to be, and then the first major problem we ran into was the motor was like way too far forward in the frame. So the fenders kind of bolt on, and then you can see how the grille kind of sits around the fender. So the grille was just like buried into the motor, like it wasn't going to work. To even mock everything up, we ended up having to move the motor back almost a foot. I think it ended up being like 11¼ inches. Then once we got that moved back, we were able to get the fenders in place, get the grille shell in place, and then the cab, and then so forth. Another big problem we ran into when we were mocking up the grille was the steering box was like right in the way. The original frame, we ended up cutting, I don't know, probably like 8 inches off the front. And that's like right where the steering box bolted on. So we ended up grabbing a rack and pinion steering from a later model truck, or it was a generation after the 97. I forgot the specific year. But that ended up working out great because the truck steers like really nice now. We were trying to keep everything kind of period correct looking. They did actually make a pickup truck model of this, but it wasn't a dually and it didn't look nearly this cool. You know, it didn't have some of the detail. In my opinion, what really kind of started this truck and kind of pushed it more to the custom side versus stock side was this centerpiece right here. The old piece was so mangled that we didn't even know we had it. I honestly thought the truck didn't come with it, and then we found it in the parts and it looked like a taco someone ran over, like it was destroyed. So we couldn't find one, so I decided I was going to make it from scratch. So I kind of came up with a little bit of my own design, you know, where I kind of like brought these two shapes together. You know, and before we had the bumper on there, it was kind of the first thing you saw. It was like really cool. And then after we did that, it was kind of like, man, that's pretty neat. Like maybe there's like some other stuff we could change on the truck to get a little bit more of a custom vibe out of it instead of being, you know, like stock looking. But yeah, it's just funny to think back, like that was the first piece that we kind of built for the truck. And then what it turned into, where probably 80% of the truck is fabricated. So another thing we ran into with doing the frame swap is the original track width. It being as big as the truck is, the original track width was 7 inches narrower on the original frame than this Dodge frame. So we ended up having to widen the fenders 3½ inches on each side to make up for that, just to give it clearance just for it to turn. So where we did that was we pretty much cut this flange loose through here and then widened it, and then kind of recentered the light in there. Just to give you an idea how much work that is, just because of the size of this truck. That weld seam there and back was, I think it ended up being like 18 feet. Yeah, and the cab, I mean, the cab was even more work, but we'll get there in a minute. So the frame's pretty much stock, other than we lowered it 4 inches in the back, 2 inches in the front. You can see the motor in there. The motor's pretty much stock. We just dressed it up to kind of look the part. The exhaust manifold's just flipped upside down to raise the turbo up to give us a little more clearance. It's all stainless exhaust, aluminum tubing. This radiator we had custom made. It's the radiator, intercooler, AC condenser, and transcooler all in one. It's like a beefy unit. Like it's kind of a shame it's got that grille covering it up. It's really cool just on its own. So these trucks for their time, they called them like the Cadillac of trucks for the heavy duty truck market, just because they were like really nice compared to other trucks around at the time. So like all this stuff is factory, like this grille, the ornament, all the side trims factory. Some of the trim we had to remake because it was missing and we couldn't find any in good shape. Moving on back in the truck here, the firewall we had to completely cut out and make from scratch. So we're trying to keep that factory look, but a little on the custom side too. So that's why we rolled a diamond T in there. Looks kind of neat, a little something extra. When we got the cab set in place, we wanted to have a full 8-foot bed. So we kind of measured where the bed would sit. And so from the back of the cab to the front of the bed was about 19 inches. So that's what we ended up adding to the cab. So these cabs are like real small. It's just that period of a truck. They're just not very big. And so, I mean, even me, I was kind of crunched in it. So, and the customer's, he's a pretty tall guy. So that's why I want to make an extended cab, just to make it a little bit more friendly to drive. So coming inside the cab, this truck really didn't have a floor in it. It was kind of like the seat pan was kind of the floor. So once we got rid of all that, we pretty much built the entire floor from scratch. And we tried keeping everything as tight as we could over the trans, just to give you as much leg room as you could. So that was a pretty big task because it's pretty long in there. The dashboard is pretty much stock. It even has the stock gauges in it. All we changed on it was this piece up here and this piece used to be 2 separate pieces. So I ended up bringing the dash out 2 inches and down like 2 inches and then adding a piece and welding them together. And the reason we did that was we want to run air conditioning and heat in this truck, so we did like a vintage air unit, and to make it fit, to give it more room, we had to give us a little more clearance that way. Plus it gave us some room for the vents. But we did add, what did we add? Oh, but you can see it with the lights on, it looks really cool. We put like kind of like an underglow effect underneath the dash there. Another cool factory thing they did on these Diamond T's was these windows, they call them like safari style windows, but these little cranks here and they pop open. It was kind of like air conditioning before they really had air conditioning, you know. That's kind of neat. So the original interior in this truck, I mean, to be honest, it really didn't have an interior. It was all metal panels and just pretty much everything was painted in here. What was factory though was this overhead unit was actually came with the truck. Obviously we added this little thing here for the stereo. Then we added these up here, kind of a big rig look for the lights and the windshield wipers. Samson Design did the interior. They did a killer job. I mean, it looks so freaking nice in here. Even with the lights on, you know, you can see the underglow in the dash. We added the wood to the dash also to kind of match everything, and we matched the leather kind of to the wood there. It turned out awesome. We got your vintage AC and heat controls up here. AC blows super cold. Just pretty standard 4-speaker stereo, nothing too crazy, but it sounds pretty good. You got all your window controls here for all 5 power windows, but pretty happy with the interior. It turned out really cool. Added 19 inches to the cab, added all these windows. It had the rear window already, obviously, but it was really small. It was like a mail slot, so we ended up making the window about twice as big as it was. And then making these side windows, we tried to follow you know, all these little detail body lines to kind of match the truck, just to make it look more factory. And every window in here is power other than the windshield. So it has 5 power windows in it, which is pretty cool. So yeah, if you got all the windows open and the safari windows open, you really get, you know, your hair blown in the wind. It's pretty cool. These running boards were made from scratch also. We were just kind of sifting around looking for a cool truck bed, and we felt the coolest looking one for the time was it's like a 40 through 53 Chevy pickup truck bed. So we ordered one of those, and a long bed truck of that time was not a full 8-foot bed. I didn't know this. So yeah, we put it on there and the thing ended up being like 6 inches short. So we actually had to add to the bed to make it, you know, a full 8-foot bed. These were all stock, although we did add one over here because for some reason they have 2 and then just one in the back, and it looked kind of silly. So we added one, you know, here, kind of the same spacing, just to make it look nice. They also used to end about right here. So these we made from scratch, you know, just to kind of make them not just ends, they look a lot nicer. Same with these bed extensions we made. If this was a Chevy truck, they used to kind of pop out the other way. So we kind of swooped them in that way, just to, felt like it fit the truck a little bit better. These rear fenders, they started life as front fenders. They were in pretty poor shape when we got them. So this one we had to pretty much from like here back, we had to make from, from nothing just to have something to start with. From here, this whole top part is like the front fender, and then we just hacked it off there and made it a little bit wider so the dually wheel would fit in there. And they turned out pretty cool. That's what was kind of fun with doing this project was we didn't really have like a rendering to go off of. We kind of did it like old school, like we'd kind of get an idea, then kind of mock it up with poster board or some like thin sheet metal. Kind of grab everybody from the shop to look at it, and it's like, oh yeah, that looks cool, so we'll do that, So that's kind of how we got the idea for, how this bumps out here, and then this whole roll pan we built from scratch. And we didn't want it to have to go straight down. We thought it would look kind of too big and flat. So that's why it's got this nice little curve in here. And then this rear rails kind of follow the curve also. So keeping with like the old school theme, these tail lights are off a 37 Ford. They look it's kind of similar to like how a Chevy tail light, they're kind of out on pedestals like that. The reverse lights are out of a 57 Chevy, along with the cargo light up there. You can see we kind of molded it into the cab. And then the rear bumper is also off an early Bronco, but we added this little cutout for the license plate here. So being a truck, we felt like it wasn't a truck if it didn't have a trailer hitch. So it actually does have a trailer hitch under there. It's kind of a hideaway deal. It's kind of hard to explain it. I have to have a picture of it. But yeah, it kind of runs this way. So it's like a fancy receiver that comes out so you can still tow a trailer with it. It's got a trailer plug in there, a light plug in there. So the tailgate used to be, it was obviously for a Chevy. We got a smooth one, and it just looked really plain back there. So we ended up having these letters designed and cut out, welded them to the tailgate, kind of smoothed them in to make them look like they were stamped into the gate, and then had them pinstripe to kind of match the rest of the pinstriping to make them stand out. But I really feel like that was a nice touch because it just needed something back there. It was kind of plain. So one of the original intentions for building this truck was, well, not only to cruise down the highway, but the owner of it has a lot of really cool vintage motorcycles. So he wanted something cool to haul his bikes around in. But we ended up doing this super nice bedwood in the back. I believe it's called Brazilian Blonde. It's probably got like 12 or 14 coats of clear on it. It has the holeless center things to hold the wood down. But yeah, it turned out beautiful. See if I don't forget anything. It has the factory fuel tank in it still, which is a big fuel tank. I forgot how big it is exactly. I think it's over 40 gallons. But to get it to work, we had to build this custom filler neck here. We kind of lucked out because the bed sat high enough where we could do the filler neck underneath the bedwood, because we didn't want to have to drill into this beautiful, I believe it's Brazilian Blonde wood we have in the back there. So that worked out nice. These little side compartments here, this is originally for the battery, and it's still for the battery. We just added a second one because the truck now has 2 batteries, because that's what the factory truck had. So we kind of made them match. They got these fancy little push buttons. They pop open, also a battery shut off in there, which is nice. I forgot to mention on the other side, if you noticed, there's also a similar style door on the other side. And that one's actually just for storage. That was kind of a cool factory thing they had back then. It's all stock other than I think I added about 19 inches to it or so, to go underneath the cab. Even like down to these lights up here, these cab lights, these were like NOS lights we found from the 60s, just to keep everything kind of period correct. But like I said, a lot of this stuff is all factory. Like all this trim is factory, this is factory, even these handles are factory. These were originally painted, but we had them chromed just to give it a little extra. The door handles and latches, that's all factory. We added like a second style latch just to be able to lock the doors with a key fob, but all this stuff is still factory. These wheels we had these centers that are really cool. We had these 3D printed out of plastic and actually had them chromed, and then cut out the old center and then glued that in to give the wheel kind of a factory appearance. Like the original wheel actually looked very similar to that original hubcap, but give it a little extra. Even down to these step things, these were actually the floor mats we found. This truck came with like a bunch of parts, and we found those floor mats in the thing of parts there, so we thought it'd be cool to make a step mat out of them. Yeah, it was in good enough shape where it looked good still. If we get it up in the air again, we have some pictures of just the brake system alone was like super tricky. This truck from the factory had a Hydro Boost system, which works extremely well, but it's so large that it wouldn't fit on the firewall. So we came up with a system where we were able to mount it to the frame. And then we used a aftermarket clutch pedal assembly where the master cylinder powers the slave cylinder that actuates the main hydro boost system, which is kind of like it was kind of a kooky idea, but it ended up working out like awesome, where it truck stops like extremely well. And that way we were able to hang the pedal, give you a little bit more foot space. So I'm trying to think if I can think of any more details on the truck, but I think that's about it. So if you like this truck, be sure to check out some more of our videos, and yeah, hit that like button and subscribe. Have a good day.